I used to always think that I would be prepared for this moment. Thought I'd be able to accept the day that my papa passed over, but something inside me don't feel too settled. In the last days that I spent with him at the hospital, I was afraid to leave him. Scared that he would die on his own, but I refused to leave. He held on so long, and it was just, a very crazy process to witness, fluid fill his lungs, and just him just struggling through that fight of just going ahead and finally crossing over. And I spent so much time trying to tell everybody else how, y'all gotta let him go so that he can pass over peacefully. But I think it was me that was holding on. Because they say when somebody has stayed with somebody who's dying for so long, like, the person usually won't pass until they leave. So it was many moments that I was beside him and just listening to, the fluid filled up in his lungs, and just that whole process. It was just crazy to witness, but I felt like I was holding him back. And I remember, like, earlier when we had been in the hospital, he couldn't make sense of a lot of things, but at this one time he kept saying, daylight, daylight. And the morning he passed, I had woke up at like 6:30. It was so beautiful outside. Like the sunset, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And his breathing had calmed down. So in order for me to see him, to see that he was still alive, I had to watch him literally inhale and exhale. As before, I just heard it. But this morning it was quiet and it was peaceful. And the only time I left from beside my grandpa was when I went to go wash my hands, my face, brush my teeth, or use the bathroom, which was still inside the room. I did not leave. The nurses, they would bring me food. But that morning, I had checked on him. I had fell back to sleep after 6:30, checked on him, woke back up at 9, went to the bathroom, and while I was brushing my teeth, I kept peeking back to see if he was still breathing, and he was. But as soon as I got done brushing my teeth, I went over to the bed. I took the cover off his feet, and I was about to rub some Vaseline on his toes, because my mom had texted me. She said, take the cover off his feet, rub some Vaseline on. But when I started to do that, I realized he was still. And in that moment, it's like I kind of held my breath and was like, wow, is this happening for real? Like, I went into this trance that did not feel real. But in that moment, I felt okay, because I kept thinking that his exit would be dramatic, that he would take one last puff and that he would struggle for air, but he didn't. When he crossed over, it was just peaceful. It was peaceful. So after realizing he had passed, I continued to do what my mama told me to do. I still rubbed some Vaseline on his feet and took the cover off. I sat beside him, thanked him for letting me stay with him and for all the things that he had taught me. And some of the things that I kind of want to touch on that he taught me that always stuck with me. So growing up, my grandpa would always give me pencils and pens, travel bags, and rings. And he used to give me these pencils that he would just find. It ain't like he went to the store to buy these, but these were just pencils he would find. And he had them in a big Folgers cup, and he would always give them to me and tell me how proud he was of me. Because I don't know if y'all, everybody know, but I do poetry. I write, I like to use my voice and my words to deliver a message. So he always encouraged that. And if anybody else knows, they already know, if I want to go somewhere, Drika will take off.
Yes, ma'am.
And he used to always give me those travel bags because he wanted me to see the world, explore, and go do something with myself. And he used to always give me rings, and I take that as he wanted me to always know my value. So I appreciate my grandpa and the role he played in my life. And as I move forward, I plan to honor him. And I want you to think about ways you can honor him too. I want to honor him by using my voice, being fearless, recognizing my value, and always using my talent to move forward. Now, one of the things my grandpa used to always say, and this is my favorite quote by him, and y'all can finish it with me if you will. He said, if you're not going to use your head, you might as well have two asses. That was right. And that used to tickle me too. And I was like, wow, interesting statement. Because he was really, really, really passionate about encouraging us to finish school. He would always say, get your schooling. He said, I might not have finished school, but I ain't no dummy. So when y'all leave here today, I want you to use whatever talents you have. And it don't matter if you didn't finish school. It don't matter what you're doing with your life right now. I want you to know that everybody out here got something inside you that can't nobody take from you. You can't learn it at no schoolhouse. It's just in you because you were born with it. So when you leave here, I want you to think about ways not only that you can honor yourself, but how you can honor my grandpa by using your talents, your skills to go on and be somebody. All right? You need to dig inside of you because a lot of y'all are talented. Talented. Born with it. Didn't have to go to school for it. My mama, she can draw naturally, decorate, dress. Didn't nobody have to teach her that. She was born with it. My auntie, she can cook people under a table. Didn't nobody have to teach her that. It was in her. So all the things that are already in you, I want you to get turned up about tapping into those skills. Because don't let this death go in vain. Don't let this be the last time we come together. But I want you to really, really, really understand just how important it is to be whoever it is you want to be. So what I want you to take from this moment is don't have two asses. All right?
Please.
Use your head. And the last thing I want to share, y'all clap it up for this so I feel like I did something. I need to transition real nice. Now, one of my little brothers, Renterio, which we got him on the FaceTime call right here, so y'all speak to him if you're able to run past. But this is a poem he wrote, and I wanted to share. So he literally wrote this when he found out, had it mailed to us about a couple of days ago, so I want to share it. Love that was amazing and stern. Care that was careful and firm. The last message that I got from Papa was, you're a man now, son. I hope that you're ready because it's your turn. Somewhere in one of me and my Papa's many conversations would come the tale of how he would ride that John Deere through the fields from before the sun came up until well after it went down. How he carried around $2,000 in his pants pocket and he kept another $1,000 of it at home. And how keeping your word and telling the truth could get you anywhere you wanted to go. But the one tale he seemed the most proud of is when he spoke of how his family needed for nothing. 2 deep freezers full of meat. Everyone kept clothes on their back, and there was always a comfortable place for them to lay their heads because he provided. Papa was the living testament of an honest provider. I've learned a lot from Papa, how to work for what you want. Because through hard work, anything can be obtained. How to provide for my family and to never stop trying. Nothing is easy. Life is not easy. We will all make mistakes. We will all fall, but the constant struggle for us here today is the drive to get back up. I love you all and miss you all dearly. I know that things aren't perfect, but who expects them to be at the end of the day? We're all family, and families are meant to love one another, despite our many differences. I know that this is hard, and Papa will be missed. I just hope and pray that everyone will overcome this, and also ask that everyone embrace Grandma in this time of despair. I will see you all soon. So that's from Renterio. Renterio, thank you. So again, we are.
David declared that if I had wings like an eagle or a dove, I'll fly away and be at rest. The dove symbolizes the spirit of one leaving this earthly tabernacle, flying into the heavenly realms. Today we release this dove in symbol of Brother Morning's spirit being released into the heaven realms, all right?
Well, I just wanted to say one thing. Before my grandpa passed, I was real concerned that he was suffering. So I talked to one of my friends who reads tarot cards, and she told me she was just getting these images of birds. So that's why I wanted to get a bird. And on the day he passed, they put a white dove on the door. So I think that was just so symbolic. And yeah, this is for my grandpa, you know. Let's be free. Bye, y'all.
Yes, sir.